Evening.
Good evening.
How are you, Chris?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Busy.
Hey, Paul.
How are you, Chris?
When are you guys chat for a minute? I'm getting feedback from my. So strange.
I don't think we can use the chat because of
No, I mean, just talk out loud. This
Oh,
apparently is. No, I mean, just talk out loud.
all right.
This apparently is. I'm getting my own voice played back with a 5-second delay.
You're not echoing in mine.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, I'm hearing Chris's echo. I'm echoing too. I guess none of us can.
Yeah, you're echoing too, Catherine.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'll just need to stay on mute. If we're not talking.
Yeah, but we're all echoing. On a tape delay.
I'm not getting the echo.
You're not, Paul.
Yeah.
Laura, you are, right?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Hello, Jacqueline.
It's probably because I'm in a different time zone.
Hello.
Are you getting this feedback too?
Yes.
This could be a really confusing meeting. All right, I didn't get it that time. All right, much better.
Jeff, I claimed host.
Okay, I was just looking to do that, so as long as one of us has it, that's fine.
Right. Your co-host, Jeff, so if one of us gets lost, somebody else still has it.
Very good.
Where's the auto transcription?
Is it under the Zoom? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
That too. All right. Show captions.
Jackie, you just had the feedback. I'm sorry, mine stopped.
Do I get it now?
No, that was clean.
That was, okay. I don't know.
Hey, Scott.
Hello, everybody.
Share button.
How are we doing?
Good luck with the transcription when everything gets said twice, 7 seconds apart.
I won't have to ask anyone to repeat themselves.
Alright.
Okay, there's 5 of us here. Were we expecting other folks to attend tonight?
Susan contacted me, she's not coming, and Jackie is not coming. And if Amy
Amy's
comes,
probably
she's
not.
late.
It'd be pretty late. That thing starts. It started at 6:30. I'm gonna guess it won't end until 8 o'clock. So I'd be surprised if she showed up, but it's possible.
Right,
Okay.
so 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1, 2, 3, so you have 5, you have a quorum, correct?
Okay, yeah, we do. It's just Adam. That
Oh,
is
just
question
Adam
mark.
is missing, yeah.
But that's okay. What time is it now?
7:03.
Okay, let's get going. Called order at 7:03. Pretty quick agenda. Should we go out of order? I'm sorry, I didn't notice the attendance list. Do we have someone from First Financial on with us right now?
Yes.
That's Andrew.
Okay,
And Janice asked me to apologize. She got sick today, so she wasn't able to make it. She had to leave work early. And she was kind of sick.
I'm sorry, you sound like you're on the voice changer with about a
Is it?
2-second delay. Anybody else get that?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good.
do.
Yeah. Rolling echo.
I believe Andrew's frozen on mine. I don't know if he's frozen on anybody.
I
He's
see him
moving.
moving, he's just muted. Do I have reverberation now? No.
No, you're clean. I think
You're
I'm
good.
clean. I think
Yes.
Jackie was clean.
Try again, Andrew.
Is this better?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
So, as I was mentioning, Janice apologized. She couldn't make it today. She got sick today. So she wanted me to apologize.
If there's no objections, I will go out of order on the agenda to bring our First Financial Trust report to the top of the agenda. Does anyone object?
Negative.
No.
No.
No,
Very good. Andrew, feel free to take the floor.
Okay. Is the audio still clear?
Yes.
Okay. I believe Catherine circulated a packet. The first thing that we wanted to cover was the investment policy statement to make sure everything was up to date in regards to everything that we have as the most recent update, specifically asset class weightings. Has there been any need for an adjustment to the investment policy statement that the committee's talked about?
No.
Okay, so to be clear, that leaves you guys the objective of the total funds, kind of a target range of 73% equities and 25% fixed income, and about 2% cash. We've been on the lower range in equities the last year or so, closer to about 65% equities, a little higher in fixed income, and more than double in cash at the moment. and I'll talk a little bit more about the benefit of the cash at the moment. Also included in the packet was the income that gets tracked that can be used for each fund on a monthly basis. I've been working with Catherine, updating these, tracking these. There really hasn't been any outflows since I've been working on the accounts. There's been some inflows into a couple of the funds, but no major outflows. Is there anything planned that we should be aware about that anyone knows of?
No, but that's one of the things that we're gonna be speaking about with it. Within the next year, we'll probably be making some expenditures.
Okay. And as I'm sure that, you guys have aware of and you've had the conversation with First Financial. Once you guys are aware of potential, or at least rough numbers on expenditures, the sooner we know about it, the better. Just so we can kind of have that prepared for and never be doing anything kind of last minute and just tailor it around where money is coming into or out of. So to get into asset allocation, as I mentioned, we've been lower on the equity side. I'm sure probably everyone on this call is aware of kind of what happened with the market last year. And it wasn't just the stock market, it was the overall market. It was a terrible year for the bond market as well, which usually doesn't happen. Usually when stocks do terrible, bonds perform pretty well. But it was the worst year for the 60-40 portfolio, really driven by the Federal Reserve just raising interest rates so sharply in a manner we have actually never seen before. Even in the 80s, it was never so quick. I mean, we went from 0 to 4.5% on the Fed funds rate in the matter of 11 months, which was very unprecedented. And as our committees talked about, we knew that the Fed was very late on the ball. I'm sure a lot of people heard, things in the headlines and is inflation transitory? Is it not? And the Federal Reserve saying it wasn't. And clearly inflation is here. We got a CPI number out today, which was good, down to 5% year over year, which was a big decrease from last month at 6%. So basically the Fed's job is not done, but its inflation is trending in the right direction at the moment. So with everything happening, this is kind of the allocation where we've been lighter on equities, heavier in fixed income, and then heavier on cash. And the reason to be heavier in cash right now is that for the first time in about 15 years, cash is actually paying something. Right now, our cash money market account is paying 4.6%, where we see essentially not, trying to play hero, jumping into the market and staying a little heavier in cash right now, where you can earn over 4.5% and really let the whole market come back down is where we've kind of been targeting. And I know, see, next was kind of the overall allocation. If you guys want to talk about kind of any of the funds, I know we take more of a ESG approach with the overall portfolio of all of these accounts. So I can talk a little bit about that as well. But this is where you'll kind of see once you get into the performance numbers where there was, a slight outperformance of the benchmark last year, just by being a little heavier in cash, underweight equities, and a little overweight fixed income. We have seen a nicer rebound this year in the overall market. It's still, from our investment committee, we still believe, we're not totally out of the woods yet, but we are in a much better place where the Fed is a lot more predictable than they were last year. With everything starting to come down quite a bit. The biggest thing that we and the Fed is focused on, obviously inflation has started to come down, is the tight labor economy, which is still very strong, surprisingly, with everything going on. But that's what's really keeping the Fed kind of on their toes. That's why we're still a little overweight cash right now. Instead of putting that into fixed income, we'd rather be overweight cash. And then once we see an opportunity to start to put a little bit more to work, that's where we'll start to do so into the equity space.
Andrew, can I ask a question? This is Laura.
Yes.
Can I ask you to define, you said ESG approach. What does ESG stand for?
Environmental social governance. So it's really kind of the sustainability of the global economy. Essentially, it's companies that focus on sustainability. There are a few funds that we use within the portfolio. One of them is an ETF focused on the conservation and purification of water resources for homes, businesses, and the overall industries that use water, which is everything. And then there's another ESG fund, which we use that focuses on clean energy within the total portfolio.
Thank you.
Well, Laura, does that fall into the socially responsible investing that you were asking about earlier?
I think so. I truly did not know what ESG stood for, so I wasn't trying to tee that up.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah, so I was just I'm the note taker. So I just wanted to get that in there for the minutes. But when we get time to some questions, Andrew, one of the things on my list was socially responsible funds. So I don't know if those fall into that categories, but
yes, they do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Are there any other questions right now?
I have a few in general, but I'm perfectly happy to wait till the end. I don't want to break the flow of the presentation here.
No, that's okay. You can go ahead.
Okay. So the recent events in the banking industry brought up some questions I didn't even realize I had. Our accounts here are not FDIC insured, but is there some sort of federal insurance that applies to this kind of these kinds of investment accounts?
Yes, security investment protection. And the cash within the accounts are also FDIC insured within the that are not into securities that are in the money market fund. Those are FDIC insured.
Great, thank you. I saw there's some corporate bonds. Are we invested in other banks? Some of these banks seemed healthy to the casual observer and then disappeared seemingly overnight. So I didn't know what our exposure was to that sort of thing.
So the corporate bonds that we invest for any clients are investment grade bonds. So they're non-speculative companies that are rated by outside rating agencies such as S&P and Moody's, based on their total financials. There are some corporate bonds. Let me pull them up, but they're non-speculative companies. I mean, some of the corporate bonds are Waste Management, Charles Schwab, United Health, IBM, JP Morgan. They all have what's called an investment grade rating on those. So we don't get into any type of speculative bond investing, also known as junk bonds, which doesn't mean the company's junk. They're just not rated as financially stable as some of the top companies that offer debt.
Okay, very good. Thanks for answering my admittedly very basic questions. I do appreciate it.
No, it has certainly been a big concern with everything going on in the banking world. It's been kind of interesting from an investment perspective to see what's happened. You had Silicon Valley and a couple of smaller regional banks really have their issues that really related more to them, but with everything, the techno advances, I mean, people can withdraw their money over their phones. They don't need to run to a bank, and social media, and it creates a frenzy, which was quite scary. But at the same time, the market stayed pretty strong throughout all of that, which kind of goes to my next point, where we've been pretty much in a tight trading range in the market since the lows of last October, where we're kind of getting to the upper band of that trading range. And that's pretty much just how the market's been trading. It really hasn't broken down at all since October, and it's just kind of been propped upwards. We still think it makes sense to be overweight in cash and overweight in fixed income where we are right now. We do think that, the economy is starting to get a little better, but at the same time, there's more work to do. For the first time in over a year, actually grocery prices have come down, which is nice for the, overall economy, but there's still a lot more work to do.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Are there any other questions right now?
Not for me.
So I guess our overall outlook for the remainder of the year, from this point on, our investment committee expects the stock market to have marginal single-digit returns throughout the rest of the year. We still believe that we should be focusing on companies that have strong cash flows, strong dividend-paying companies. We're avoiding kind of the high-flying, tech companies and communication services at the moment that have had a nice rebound, but we still think that where we are in the economy, and we're not in a zero interest rate environment anymore, free cash flow does matter with the investments, and that's where we're focusing on a lot of the funds that we use that have those type of companies overall in them. Was there any questions in regards to anyone wanted to go over the overall returns of the different accounts or anything of that nature?
Is there anything unique about each of the individual accounts that we should be aware of, or are they treated as essentially a single unit invested on behalf of the trustees in the library?
They are not invested as a single unit. They are invested as separate accounts. They do have the same investment objective, and a lot of the funds are in most of the accounts. Some of the accounts that are a little bit smaller because of the size. We can't create the same, we can't put 20 ETFs into an account that has, a few $1,000s. But the overall investment objective is the same, where we're still targeting lower on the range, about 65% into equities, rather than the kind of the target range of 73%, and still overweight cash in overall in all the accounts.
Okay. And would you see any impediments, bringing up your point earlier about alerting you if you're looking to make an expenditure? I'm going to make up some numbers here. Say a 9-month time frame. If we needed $20,000, do you see? Obviously, no one can predict 9 months with accuracy, but any major structural impediments to us being able to get that money out?
No, I mean, there will be no impediments to withdraw the money by any means. When I mentioned that earlier, is more in regards to probably a little shorter than 9 months, say a couple months out, if possible, just to kind of, maybe sell a little bit on kind of big bounce days where you kind of have an up day of a nice market swing that has, a decent update to trim a little bit to raise some cash at that point, that's kind of what we would use for that. As I mentioned, we're in a really tight trading range in the overall market right now. So kind of if we're getting to the upper bands, would be a good point to raise a little bit of cash.
Catherine, for a significant expenditure, what's the time frame where we go from, yes, we want to do this, to actually encumbering the funds?
It's been so long since we've ever done it, but I guess it depends. I can't imagine it would be sudden,
Okay,
especially under our current circumstances. One thing that could happen is that so the one time that we used the funds for books, we knew the economy was good. It was not good. It all happened within the time period of the budget formulation. So that would have been like a 3 to 6 month period. We recognized we weren't going to have the money, and we knew what we were going to need. So that was within like a 6 month period. And then it was a full year before we actually expended it. It was a year after that. So if it's books, we're talking a relatively long period of time, and we would be able to coordinate that with First Financial. Other than that, it would probably be a smaller item. And no matter how quickly we wanted it, if you were talking about $20,000 or $30,000, that wouldn't make the difference. That I don't think that wouldn't be as that wouldn't be as detrimental.
okay. So
Yeah,
it
so
sounds like
essentially,
sorry, go
we
ahead.
would use the advanced knowledge of knowing capital would be needed if it was excess to what's being held in the account to start to trim some positions as they kind of get overweight in the account, which would then go into the cash fund, which at that point is still at the current time earning 4.6%. So you just don't have any downside risk with it, but you're still getting interest on it. So even if we were ahead of it, a month or so, it wouldn't be bad. It would actually be good because there'd be no downside risk. The money would be there and you'd be getting interest on it.
Okay, terrific. So it sounds like as long as we keep the lines of communication open, we're in good shape to spend some money as the ideas pop up.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, if it was short notice, it's not a problem to raise the cash. It's just obviously better to know ahead of time so we can kind of plan around it to find more optimal times to sell certain securities.
Yeah, absolutely. Understood. Thanks for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any questions?
Andrew, I'll just follow up on my question from earlier, or build up on the question about socially responsible funds. I'm not even sure if I'm using the correct phrase there, but are you able to identify like what percentage of our investments are in socially responsible funds or in ESG? Is it all of them, 50%, 20%?
So, I mean, there's a lot. There's been a big movement within the investment industry, I'd say, probably in the last 5 to 10 years, and it continues to grow with just the concerns of everything going on. And people have different focuses. I don't know if there's a bigger focus from your organization where it's a specific matter where we could focus more on. Some people are more focused on clean energy, and some organizations are focused on board diversification or different things. But we use a software called Sustainalytics, which actually gives a ESG rating to all individual companies, so individual stocks as well as funds that hold a group of stocks. Is there kind of a bigger focus, or is it kind of just an overall sustainability focus that?
No, and I ask these questions as someone who does not have a finance background, and this is not my area of expertise. It was just something as given who we are as an organization, I was just curious if that was in the mix. So it sounds like that it is in the mix, and a key consideration, but I don't have a specific interest in mind.
Yes, yes. So, besides the pure, I guess you could call them sustainable funds that we use within the accounts, all the other funds also still get rated based on their sustainability score, even though they're not, targeted sustainable funds. And they're all in the upper band of most of the categories.
Thank you.
I think that's nice to know, just because we're of the kind of organization we are, and because we're a public organization, it's nice to be able to say that there is some consideration to things that are socially responsible. Not so much that it's a goal as much as it is just something to be aware of. And it sounds like many people in the market are thinking that way now anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, with the, the Inflation Reduction Act and a lot of government spending is continuing to flow towards companies that focus on sustainability. I mean, you have your tax credits for EV companies, and a lot of money going into infrastructure for clean tech companies. And it's not just that organizations are focused, but the government's also very focused on and giving grants to companies that are starting to make these changes. And so at the same time, a lot of public companies are committed to certain timeframes where they're reducing carbon emissions and getting to certain levels of sustainability. I mean, we're not going to get there overnight, as we know. I mean, look what happened to oil last year, and it was in especially over in Europe. It's still very much needed, but at the same time, companies are really focusing on shifting away as much as they can.
Andrew, is there anything in our accounts in our portfolio that we should pay closer attention to? I mean, you all manage it, but it sounds like it's in good shape, and your overall explanation was really helpful. But is there something that we should be thinking of over the course of the next 6 months or year?
In regards to the kind of the overall investments, or I don't think, I mean, I think the year we had last year was one of those years that you get, unfortunately, probably every 15 years or so. It was the worst year in the market since 08, and one of the worst years in the market in the top 7 years of the market overall. We got through that. Things are starting to get better. I don't think in regards to the overall account, I do think that we'll start to put a little bit of that cash to work, unless there's a certain account that we know that, there will be needs for cash in the next few months or 6 months or so. But at some point we do believe that, we'll start to put a little bit more of that cash into equities as we start to get a rebound. But at the same time, we're not, trying to play hero with the money. We're not trying to pick a bottom. That's not what we do. We're just trying to make sure that the overall portfolio is very diverse. So there's no, part of the economy that can really cause too much damage, as long as it's very well diverse.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Andrew? No, sounds Sounds like no. All right. Andrew, anything else? Any last words of wisdom you want to leave with us? Anything else from your presentation?
No, I just think, everything that's going on, especially with the banking crisis and that we've come out of that very clean and as I mentioned, I think, the economy is doing well. Things are starting to get better. Inflation's coming down. I think we should stay on track where we are. Once we kind of feel the time is right, put a little bit back more into the market. But as I mentioned, it's still, it'll probably be, a little bit here and there over, time as things start to turn around. But we still think that cash is a good alternative to be overweight at the moment.
Very good. Yeah, and to be clear, we're looking to spend money to do good things. We're not getting skittish about having our money invested. It's just time to put some of our money to use.
Yeah, that's great.
Excellent. Catherine or Jackie, anything else?
No, I don't have anything. I hope Andrew doesn't get to the point where he dreads seeing my emails.
No.
So Andrew gives us the report monthly. So I draw my numbers from the reports that he gives us, which summarizes all of the various accounts.
Yeah, and
So
those numbers are terrifically useful every month. So it's much appreciated.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
It was nice to
Thank you,
meet
Andrew.
everyone.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Thought I saw Adam, but then I think he might have
Yeah, I
dropped
did
off.
for a second too.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe he'll jump back
He
on.
was there.
He was there.
Okay. All right, let's return to our regularly scheduled agenda. Top of the list is the acceptance of the secretary's report. Is there a motion?
I can make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? For what it's worth, I thought it was a very good summary of some wide-ranging discussion last month. So I appreciate, Laura, you distilling that all down into a couple of pages.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Catherine's great at helping me review it before it gets distributed. So thank you.
I also would say I like the new style. It's easier to read on the computer.
Okay, if there's no other comment, we'll vote on the motion to accept the secretary's report. Paul?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Do we have Adam? And I'm a yes. So that's unanimous.
Huh.
Okay, next item.
And who said our room downstairs had bad audio?
Okay, is there a motion to accept the staff reports?
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
Good discussion?
Just Jackie, your grant for Plaza Jazz? Thank you.
Yeah, that's excellent. The equipment for the trustees room for Zoom meetings, what's the latest on that?
Jackie met with Todd. And I think we're on his speed list. As soon as they can get it, they will get it, but I don't know when that will be. His company looked at our lecture hall and agreed with our company that in part the problem with our meetings, it's the recording that's the problem. When we have the meeting and it's a hybrid meeting, it's fine, but the recording doesn't always pick up the sound. And it really is because we're not yelling at one another. So we could solve that by each holding a microphone. But really what would be optimal is to be able to just have those meetings in the trustees room because it's a better size and the audio will pick up and there's not a blower that has to be dealt with. So if we can get, as soon as we can get that, we can move. If we don't get that equipment, we'll have to decide. I mean, if we don't get it soon, I'm assuming worst case scenario, we have it by September. But if we didn't have it for May and June, we would just have to decide, do we want to do it at the lecture hall? And if we do, are we willing to hold microphones or speak really clearly? Because it does, when we're in the lecture hall and I watch it, it comes up on the screen and it looks like it's
that was
picking
gonna
it
be my
up.
point.
Yeah.
Why
so
isn't the transcript good enough and not just the audio?
It probably is, but when you watch it on the website, you just don't get the sound. So, you know, between the minutes and the transcript, you know, it's not an open meeting problem. It's just, you know, the meetings are legal and legitimate. It's just that the town, people at town hall have noticed it and said, the audio quality needs to be a little better for people to listen to this.
So
nobody has said to me, you cannot do it. Nobody has said it's bad enough that you have to do something different. But I, you know, people would just prefer, I know everyone who, I don't even know how many people watch it, but if you're going to watch it, it would be nice if the sound were better. And we know that we will get that in the trustees room. We're pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus I think we'll all be more comfortable in the trustees room.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah,
we can,
I do like the trustees room.
Yeah.
So that, you know, that's not an issue. I'm glad you said that. At first glance, it felt like we were being held to a requirement that isn't actually a requirement.
No, it's not a requirement. No.
Okay, very good. It's just a strong preference, which I understand. It makes things like, you know, minutes and any other open meeting questions a lot less worrisome because we have the recording right there.
Right.
So, okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Does that mean we need to determine where our if our May meeting will be in person or not, or will we determine that later?
We could just have it in person, and you know, if we're going to do it and it has to be in the lecture hall, we'll all need to be aware that we should probably speak one at a time and speak very clearly. You know, I think when you have a discussion, even on Zoom, it's maybe not the same way. When you have a discussion, you feed off of one another and you may speak over one another. And some people whisper an aside, which is all kind of nice. You know, that's part of a meeting. So maybe we'll get the new equipment by then, which would solve the whole problem. If it
Do you have
works.
any idea what the setup would look like in the trustees room?
Yeah, the idea was, and Jackie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because we had two different companies look at it, but it would be like a TV on a stand and you just roll it to the head of the table, plug it into the, it works on Wi-Fi and you plug it in and, I don't know if there'll be a microphone that you put in the center of the table or if it will be on the screen setup itself. But
I
that's,
think it's on the screen.
so
I
it's
think
all,
everything is on the screen, like the camera's contained there, like it's all.
So
One.
there's no thought of kind of like the screen downstairs is permanently mounted. There's no permanently
no,
mounted
No, nothing-
fixture or
nothing was
something that
built
would be
in.
up in there.
no, because I didn't want anything built into anything in that room. But because behind those walls are masonry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that.
The whole setup is movable.
It's all a little mobile station. Which probably means we can use it other places too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Gives you some flexibility.
Mm.
I was just gonna comment on the, another topic on the, staff reports, but thank you to Jackie and I think it was Alyssa for the helping that patron get home internet access. That was really like such a, like a really nice thing to see in there. I didn't know that was a service that, or a service that was provided. So thank you for doing that.
Alyssa actually there's some training involved. You don't need it actually, but she did take a kind of quick like webinar to learn how to guide people through that process. It's not especially straightforward. But it worked.
Is that the Board of Library Commissioners training?
Yes, I think it was. They sent it out. I don't know that it was through them.
I think that it was because I think the state sent out information to all the reference departments because there are programs that are underused that will help people. So they're trying to get the word out.
Right.
Any other comments or questions?
I just need to know what book has a cottage and a bunny on the cover?
It's oh no, I'm not gonna remember. It's a cozy mystery. The author's name is Nancy something. You'll know it if you saw it, Catherine.
Nancy Picard.
Possibly.
Her books take place on Nantucket.
Yeah.
That's a series.
Atherton, maybe.
Oh, Nancy Atherton.
Nancy Atherton.
The Ghost. Aunt Dimity.
Maybe.
Yeah, Nancy Atherton.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm just Googling them. Yeah. I sure do. It's a great anecdote. So you got those international.
Nantucket, you said, is that right? Nantucket?
There is one that's, I think her name is Nancy Picard, writes mysteries that take place on Nantucket.
Oh, okay, that's good. The only Nantucket book I've read is about an ill-fated whaling journey.
Yeah.
It's not very uplifting.
No.
But it's Nantucket. It's historical. It's historical.
That's right. That's right. That's how it was built.
Really.
Okay, anything else? All right. If that's it for that. We'll take a vote on the motion to accept the monthly staff reports. Paul?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Yes. Chris?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm a yes. That's unanimous.
I was gonna be yes, but apparently I stutter.
Tommy 2 times over here.
Public participation, I see none. Other than Andrew from First Financial. Committee reports. I don't have the list in front of me. Let me see if I can do it from memory. Budget. Do we have anything new on the budget?
There's nothing new on the budget, unless possibly, well, for next month, we'll know. I had a little bit of a report from the town on the front stairs. They do not have to investigate them. The plans that they discovered show what is underneath there,
Oh,
and
great.
they don't have to go in and look. So
That's
now
great.
we have to figure out how they're gonna be repaired, and that may be a capital project. So there's more on that to come, and it, you know, we're all gonna be retired before this gets fixed. But we're just gonna keep going on with it. So that might be a capital item. And I
Okay,
guess that's also buildings and grounds.
I was gonna segue right into building and grounds. You know, we had some talk. We have some money in the article coming up at town meeting for the roof, but it was unclear because of the amount, whether it was for part one, the old building, the new building, or both. Do we have clarity on that?
No, I sent information to DPW. And I verified with the proposal that I have. The proposal that I have with that money is the old roof, and the old roof has 2 sections. So it's 2 sections of the entire old roof. And Dave and someone else that he spoke with are very confident that that's fine, because the newer roof, it actually has plenty of life left in it, and can just be repaired. So I think it's fine.
That's good. I mean, ultimately, that's what we want. We want to address the problem, and if the problem is just the 2 parts of the roof on the old building, then so be it.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
it looks like.
Okay, very good. And I assume we don't have, I haven't heard anything. Do we have any movement on the sign?
I've been pursuing Mr. Sardella. After his initial visit, he has been like the wind,
Yeah,
but I shall continue to pursue.
it seems to be the story of this project.
It's hard.
Vigorously pursue.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's it for building and grounds. Gift funds, we just talked a bit about. Does anyone have anything else to discuss on gift funds?
No.
Okay. Personnel, do we have any issues to address from personnel?
None.
No,
Very good. Let's see, Friends, I don't think has had a meeting since our last. Is that
that's
right?
tomorrow
It's
night.
tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Me, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
No,
just
there
I'm
was
gonna
an
try and
interesting
log in.
correspondence from Friends.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry, what?
The correspondence from Friends to see who was going, that was went out to the trustees. Catherine, you got that, right? Laura, you responded to
Oh,
it.
yes, yeah, it
Yeah,
was an email.
it's an email.
Did they not
Did they not
usually send that? Because I was,
usually send that? Cause I was.
I don't usually recall seeing that.
Is
I'm gonna.
is it the meeting email? Oh,
Yeah, I'll look into that. I want to make sure the trustees are invited every month. Okay.
And I'm gonna try and attend tomorrow via Zoom. I'm out of state right now.
They don't do Zoom.
Oh, they start.
They're all in
Okay.
person now.
They're fully in
They're
person.
fully in person.
I forgot that.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. That's a good heads up. Okay, anything else with the Friends?
Since there is such a gap between our meeting, our April meeting is a little earlier than usual, and our May meeting is towards the end, do you want me to send an email update, or do they circulate the Friends meeting notes anyways? Is there, or do you want me to wait till the May meeting before giving you an update on the Friends meeting?
Well, I guess I'm curious of their thoughts on our request that we kind of left hanging at the last meeting.
Yeah, I don't think it would run afoul of open meeting laws, Catherine, if Laura just sent out a purely informational update
Right.
on the funding request.
Right.
Laura, if you're able to do that, I would personally greatly appreciate it. I think it would be good for the
Yeah.
board to see.
Yeah, good idea.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, was that all the committees? Did I miss anybody? No, okay.
Legislative advocacy, do we say that?
Oh, good on you. Yeah, that's the last one. Anybody have an update there?
That's in front of me.
Yeah, and there's nothing new there. That's it's still all good news from what I've heard.
Yeah, I was thinking no news is good news at this point.
Mm. I think
So
it's
we'll-
still being negotiated, but
Sure.
the governor's budget was good, and now it's within the House and Senate.
Okay. All right, we'll keep an eye on that then. Thank you. Okay. Anything else for committees? No. Okay, we just had the one item of new business, which we handled at the top. That brings us to items not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I have none myself. Anybody else?
Nothing is new. No.
Do we need to, are there any updates on Blossoms or anything that we need to, are we still moving smoothly?
I mean, just chatting about Blossoms, sponsorship's probably going to be down a little bit, but we are still pursuing additional sponsors. If anybody has any leads, there's still plenty of time to sign up for that. I'd love to see more tickets getting sold. This is kind of getting to be crunch time for ticket sales. So, the hope is, we're in the 300 to 350 range. I keep hearing about how many people are going to buy tickets and how many friend groups are out there that, oh yes, my whole collection in the neighborhood is going, but I've yet to see them buy any tickets.
Yeah.
But
so this is something to after the event to take a look at, but do you think removing the cap has actually taken some urgency away from buying tickets?
I'm not sure about the time period and capping the number of tickets. It's almost like you're wading into new waters and not sure where it's going, given where things have been in the past few years. So part of this was kind of feeling our way back into it to see what see how the surface is below the water. So it seems like, maybe that would have been better. It's funny, one of the interesting things I keep seeing is questions about what do I wear and what is the theme.
Yeah.
And the wardrobe choice seemed to be something that people were entertained by and maybe somewhat drawn to have a theme to dress to. And not that everybody did that, but there are a certain percentage that I keep getting asked.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Chris, do
interesting.
you have? So I was going to ask, do you have like a sponsorship sort of packet or just
I do.
something? Can you send it to me to circulate?
Sure.
I'm happy to try to help. Yeah.
I will get it off.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could send it to all of us, Chris.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Sure.
And I just want to make sure I caught something correctly that you said, Chris. Are you aiming to sell 300 to 350 tickets, or are you saying that's where you are right now? I want to make
No,
sure.
but that would be the goal.
Okay.
I think the last I heard, you know, Catherine, you may know better than I thought we were around 160 or 80.
180?
180 is where I saw yesterday.
Yeah, that was kind of the range we were. So, you know, realistically, it's not that far away, given the date. And I think, you know, people get through holidays and whatnot and now start to kind of see that on the horizon.
Yeah, anecdotally, just working with a lot of organizations that plan events, it feels like, especially in the last year or two, it's like there's this 2-week crunch where people sign up, which is hell for organizers, but it seems to be that's the tendency for a lot of consumers. Maybe it existed beforehand, but right now, especially, it's like people are waiting to the last 7 to 10 days to buy tickets. So we don't want to hang our hats on that, of course, but like still.
Yeah.
I think maybe we saw that in prior years too, that there were lots of people that bought closer to the date. Because I asked that question too. So it's coming. And before that, this weekend, we have the open house, the anniversary open house, which I have not really had anything to do with. And I saw the paperwork today and the scavenger hunt and the plans, and it's just so much fun. It's
Right.
You really just can stop in for a half an hour, but it's
Preferably around 11.
really
Right.
nice.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Really nice job. They've done a nice job.
And
And
then I saw the email advertising it. You said you told everyone, and we're going to start off the day with speeches. I think next year's
Remarks.
professional development will have to work on strategic marketing. I'm not sure the speeches are going to be the highlight of the day.
it didn't say remarks. Was the word remarks?
I don't remember the exact
Yeah,
word.
that-
I remember laughing at like, oh, we're going to hear some people talk.
Like, you're not.
That's right. Maybe that's why I paid such close attention to it.
Yeah. Yes, just remarks to open it.
Yeah.
There just needs to be something
Very
to
good.
open it. So,
Brief remarks.
yes, brief remarks. It'll be nice. And I'm
Should be a good
noticing
day.
things, I'm noticing things about the building that I had not noticed before. So it's interesting.
Will
Very good.
you make the scavenger hunt materials available after the fact for folks who aren't able to come that day or stay or, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they probably couldn't do everything that's on it. There's a couple of things that
Oh.
will be unique to that day.
Okay.
But there's probably, we could either amend it or, yeah, we'd probably be able to use it again.
It could be an interesting way to help, not having seen it, help folks, new patrons or even old timers, like acclimate themselves to the library or force them to explore part of the library they don't typically go to.
Yeah. A little map was created for it, and that's always helpful.
Oh, that's great.
People like the little maps, yeah. Because the building is not that big.
Right. Okay. Anything else? All right. Hearing nothing, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Let's go around. Paul.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right, thanks, everybody.
You guys have a good night.
You all as well.
See you, what, for Saturday, right? I'm gonna try and catch up on
If-
Saturday
if
before we
you're
go.
home, yeah.
Yeah, no, I should be back Friday.
Okay, we'll see you Saturday.
Very
Sounds
good.
good.
Look forward to it. See you all then.
Good night.